Hello there and welcome to another BoBeats video. Today we're checking out 4 plugins that helps you generate chord progressions, bass lines, melodies, and drum grooves. They're all made by Mixed In Key and they're also sponsoring today's video. The plugins are Captain Chords for generating chord progressions, Captain Beat for making drum grooves, Captain Deep for generating bass lines, and Captain Melody for getting some help with those melodies. These plugins are helpful to beginners, but also more experienced producers like myself that have a good ear but don't really know all the music theory. Let's start by checking out Captain Chords, and to make it a little bit more exciting, I've hooked it up to my modal organ 8 and my Mother 32, so I will be sequencing these synths using the Captain plugins, and I'll show you how to do this later in the video as well. The first thing you do in Captain Chords is that you choose a key and a scale to work within. Now this is the main view of Captain Chords, and the first thing to showcase here is that we have verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and drop. These are just different working areas that also sync across the different plugins. And the idea here with the Captain plugins is not so much to create a full song within the plugins, it's more sort of a starting point, where you generate ideas that you then bring into your DAW. Let's start by adding 4 chords. So if we change the key, you can see that the chords change accordingly, and if we change the scale, they also keep within that scale that you've selected. We can also select predefined chord progressions. We can also change the timing. There's also different rhythms you can choose from. But what I think is really nice is that you can also record your own rhythms. But let's look at the main feature, which is of course that you can very quickly create your own custom chord progressions. So we have the chord and then we have variations of that chord. So to change the chord, we just click it, we can make changes to the inversion, we can also add a different flavor to it. So let's just add 4 more chords here and make some changes. Let's make it the same chord progression, but add a 9th on this chord here. We could also add some complexity to one of the chords. Now to make things a little bit more interesting, I've hooked up the modal organ 8. It's a digital synth here. It's connected via USB to the computer, and you can see in Ableton that I've actually muted the Captain Chords channel here. And then I've created a MIDI channel, which is routed to the organ 8. And I'm selecting Captain Chords as the MIDI input for that channel, and it's sending to the organ 8. Next up we need a bass line, so let's fire up Captain Deep. Now as you can see, there's already a bass line here, and this is because the plugin is connected to Captain Chords and has generated a bass line that follows the chord progressions that we made. And Captain Deep functions very similarly to Captain Chords. You have the same verse, chorus, setup, and it will follow the progression that you created in Captain Chords. These were some internal sounds, but I want to use the Mother 32 instead. Next up, let's take a look at Captain Melody, which can be used to create melodies but also bass lines, because it's a quite flexible software. So to create a melody, we're creating an idea box, and basically whatever's in this selection here, we can change. And what makes Captain Melody interesting is that you have powerful randomization tools to randomize ideas for melodies. So what I've done here is randomize a melody. It follows the chord progression we set up, and what you can do now is of course move around the notes. And as you can see, they also change color, indicating how stable they are in relationship to the chord, and you can also see the chords up here. Now obviously we can't just randomize a melody and hope that it will sound good, so we'll have to work on it a little bit. Dun, dun, dun. I don't like that note. And here's too many notes, and in the last part I want this note here to go up. So in order to randomize a melody, we have a bunch of different tools at our disposal, but basically it comes down to randomizing the shape and the rhythm of the melody, and this can give us some interesting ideas that we can work with. I think something like this sounds pretty cool, but remember, it's just a starting point. Now we've come this far without a beat, so let me show you Captain Beat. It's a little bit different. As you can see here, we have different tracks here with different samples. You can also drop your own samples into Captain Beat. And what's really nice is that you can not only export the MIDI, but you can also export the audio. So we can do it like this and just drag the audio into the DAW. So I would use this software to generate ideas for rhythms. So here you can see that we have a basic 4 on the floor rhythm, and there's plenty of rhythms to choose from as a starting point. So let's try some out. And we can of course go in and move samples around and delete them. So let's see how this fits with the melody. So now we have a starting point for a song here. Let's say I want to export the MIDI, because that's how you kind of keep developing your ideas. I'm going into Captain Chords here, and then I'm just dragging and dropping the MIDI onto a track. And I'm doing the same for the chorus as well. And in Captain Beats, we're exporting the audio. So I'm going to do is just master audio. So I messed around a little bit more with the melody and the chord progression. And yeah, this is the demo I ended up with. So that was my little demonstration of the Captain plugins. So let me know what you think about them in the comment section, and as always, have a great day and talk to you later.